Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tuesday Tips with Kimberbell. I'm Kim, and
I'm Jeanette.
and we thought it would be fun to share with you our new quilting background designs. This is something that people have been asking for a long time, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's one of those things that, we thought it would be really cool to do. And of course, we're talking about quilting in the hoop, so for machine embroidery. But it wasn't quite on our radar to launch this yet until later on in the year. But then Love Notes came out and people were saying, please, 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 can we have these quilting designs now? And so we hurried up. We hurried up and we moved that launch sooner so that we can get these out to you. So if you are new to, what we're even talking about here, it is that we can machine embroider our quilting backgrounds all in the hoop, which is really cool.
It is.
Yeah. So, and I think one of the questions that we might as well just answer now is that some people have said, well, why weren't those just included in the design files? And there's a very good reason for that. And that would be
that we like to say, like, the Twilight Boulevard pillow is for a 5x7 hoop. But if we include the quilting designs, then your hoop requirement goes up.
Yeah.
And some people also don't like to quilt.
Yeah, there's two camps, I would say, for people with machine embroidery and quilting. There's the side of it where people love to be able to do their entire project in the hoop. And they certainly can do that, but oftentimes you need larger size hoops to be able to do that, right?
You do.
And so there's that side of it. And then there's other people that are going, oh no, I want to wait until the very end. I'm going to piece all my blocks together and then I'm going to long arm it because maybe they have a long arm machine or they have, someone that they trust and love. And we love our long armers out there. No doubt about that, right?
We do. And you can get such a custom look with long arming.
Yeah.
That's after. Yeah. That's so fun.
The other cool thing about these quilting designs is that, and background designs I should say, is that now you can build your own library of designs with these patterns. Because we might put something like, a wavy line behind a few blocks, and someone else is going to say, I don't like that wavy line. I would rather have a chevron line. Yes. But if we included that, that's something that you'd be paying for that you didn't want. So this gives you options is what I'm trying to say, right?
It does.
It gives you options. It gives you an entire library that you can download at any given time.
And you get to customize your own. You get to make those choices and decide.
Exactly. And there's so many fun ones to choose from. So right now we just have 8 different ones to choose from. But let me tell you, there's so many more coming. We're really excited about all the holiday ones that are coming, especially Twilight Boulevard. How many of you are making Twilight Boulevard out there or are just anxiously waiting for those quilting backgrounds? Well, we've got several for you to choose from that I think you'll enjoy mixing and matching and choosing which ones you think is going to look best, right?
Absolutely.
So there's those coming. I think the other thing that sets our quilting backgrounds apart from anything else that's out there is the block sizes, right? Tell us a little bit more about that, Jeanette.
So there's 14 different sizes. It's all the even blocks below an 8x10. So if you can think of an even number below 8x10,
okay, so we're talking a 2x2, a 2x4, a 2x6, 2x8, 4x4. Yeah, we can go on and on, right?
Yes.
There's 14 different designs. And the reason why or design files for the different sizes. And the reason why that's important is think about this. Do we ever use the exact same 5x7 block for everything?
No.
No, if you know Kimberbell, you know that we like to mix and match different block sizes. So we can be able to provide these designs for you to create your library of designs, and you know that they are going to match with the block sizes that we use most here at Kimberbell. So we're talking block sizes like how many of you made, what was this? Hoppy Easter. Okay. Hoppy Easter bench pillow. See all those different block sizes? If you were just to get any type of quilting background, one, you'd probably have to have software. to be able to use it, and you would have to stretch it and pull it and make it fit, and it becomes distorted, right? So we've taken all that guesswork out for you by doing the designs or doing the block sizes that we use most here at Kimberbell, and there's 14 different ones. So you could do something like this. Of course, this was a really popular one. How many of you did Luck of the Gnome, right? So you could certainly use them on something like this. What are some of the other projects, Jeanette?
All of the feature quilts that we've done.
Yeah.
So Vintage Boardwalk, even back to Jingle All the Way.
Yeah.
Like
We Wisp You a Merry Christmas.
Yes.
All of those can be done now
Even
with those.
Ginger's Kitchen bench pillow too uses those block sizes.
That's right. So, no matter what Kimberbell product you get, you most likely will be able to use the exact same size that we have all included in the one download.
Yes.
Now, there is a difference between directional designs and what we would call non-directional designs or all-over designs. So, do you want to talk about that for a minute? We've got some samples here.
Sure. We do have some samples. So
Let's look at this one, for example.
So this one would be non-directional.
Non-directional, because you could make it go this way or this way or this way, and there's no literal vertical or horizontal lines, right?
Yes.
It's what we would call like an all-over quilt design.
Yes.
Correct? Okay, so this would be non-directional. Let's look at a few others that would be non-directional. So this one is brand new, coming this week. So you're not going to see it on the website quite yet.
Not yet.
But watch today, tomorrow, something like that. It will be up there really soon. But this is the orange peel. And again, it doesn't matter which direction it goes.
Nope.
It would be considered non-directional. Okay, let's look at another one here. Oh, here's a couple more that we used. Especially people are using these now for love notes. So we've got the swirly hearts and then all the little words. Again, non-directional, right? So you get what I'm saying here. If it is a non-directional design, meaning it can go any which way, then there's 14 design sizes included. But if it is a directional design, what are we talking about, Jeanette?
So you have obvious lines going one direction or the other.
Right.
So like in the chevron print,
obviously there's a direction to that.
The chevrons to go that direction. So what we decided to do is just include 28 files.
Yeah. So now you're going to get 28 design files in the one download for all the block sizes.
Yes. And we realized there are 4 duplicates because of the squares.
Because of the square.
But some people don't have software on their machine that they can rotate the design.
Yeah.
So we just
now
included
it's taken care of for you, right? This would be, let's see, what are some other...
You have some more in that pile, I think.
we have some straight lines. I don't think I brought that in. Okay. We have some straight lines that are also directional. This one is our plaid. This is probably one of my very favorite ones so far. And it's just simple, but it can be used for anything and everything. That's
anything and everything.
That's right. And so this would be considered non-directional, right? This is another one. It is called our chain link. And this one, should I show these?
Yeah,
okay, I might
you're
as well.
here.
Here's another new one coming out this week that you're going to find is perfect for love notes. If you are making the love notes
on
one.
the back of the mailboxes, the signed, sealed, and delivered blocks.
Yep. If you are doing love notes, this is one that you're going to want because we actually took the actual love note design that the bird is holding in its mouth, and we made it into a quilting background. So this one would be considered directional. So you're going to get it in 28 different design files.
Yes.
Okay, and then this one coming out later this week or next week is one for fall. And if you are looking for like an autumn feel or fallish feel for all of your fall needs, including the welcome autumn bench pillow, which I know a lot of you out there are starting to think about making. This is also coming out very soon. So anyway, there's a look at a quick look at what it is, but let's talk about how these are put together. Now, I have to give a shout out to our good friend out there, Kristen. Kristen Solm, you know who you are. And I know a lot of you know who she is. She has been awesome in helping us launch this with showing you step-by-step tutorials on how you can make this with your Love Notes quilt. So you can find more information about that on the Kimberbellas and Fellows group. We're really grateful for her in doing that. But we wanted to show you what it typically would take if you were to take any of our design downloads for these quilting backgrounds and do it just about on any project. She's showing it on Love Notes, but we want to show it on just about anything. Right? So how do we want to get started, Jeanette?
Well, do we just want to go through the step outs?
Yeah.
Of the how it stitches
and then
out?
let's talk about this in just a moment.
Yes.
So in your download, you'll not only get, of course, the design files in all the different file formats, but you're also going to get a PDF set of instructions. And Jeanette will refer to that in just a moment. But we want to show you how easy this is to do in your hoop. If you want to machine quilt on your embroidery machine, this is how you're going to do it. Now, certainly, we've done this for years without doing it this way. We've taken it to a long arm quilter afterwards, and they're always beautiful. So whatever you decide to do, that's up to you, but we want to show you how easy it is. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is hoop some stabilizer. And what stabilizer would you recommend?
So if you are leaving it in the project, I would always recommend a cutaway.
Yeah,
since we
like a lightweight cutaway.
Lightweight cutaway. Yeah, we don't want it very heavy, so I would definitely use like a lightweight kind of a mesh cutaway.
Yeah, and I think it's easier to use that cutaway when you're not, if you were to use a tearaway, you might have a harder time getting that torn away from all the quilting.
You would.
So using like a lightweight cutaway would be perfect. So what we did here on this step is we're doing the 8x10 size, and we just stitched out a placement line for our batting. Again, this is all outlined in your PDF instructions. So no worries, all step-by-steps are part of that.
I'm going to say too, this would be in your hoop. We have it outside of the hoop because we didn't want to bring in like
10
15
hoops, right?
We do.
We're
just using them.
Have them. Yeah, we kind of do,
so,
don't we? Yeah.
This would be in your hoop. So you'd stitch the batting placement line.
We've taken it all out so you can see it easily. So once this is still in your hoop, don't pop it out, guys. She told me to pop it out. No,
don't pop it out.
Okay, once this is stitched out, then that is saying, hey, it's time for your batting. So you're going to take your thin piece of batting and place it over the top. Now, the key is that you make the batting bigger than this square. Now, we do have in the instructions an exact cut size if you want to follow them verbatim. But honestly, if you just make your batting bigger than this square, you're going to be just fine, okay? So you're just going to lay that on top in your hoop, right?
We always say completely covering the line.
Completely covering that line. The next step on your machine is what we would call a tack down stitch. And that's where you see this. And this is why the batting is bigger, right? The batting is bigger because now this is telling you where to cut the excess fabric. It's kind of like if you've ever done machine applique, same kind of thing. Yes. You have your placement stitch and your tack down stitch. So Jeanette in this hoop, she would take her scissors,
right,
and cut away.
When you're cutting something in the hoop, we always leave you a 1/2 inch so that there's enough for you to grab with your finger, and then you can use your scissors and trim.
Yeah,
so
you just trim it right up to that line. One other thing we forgot to mention, and this might be a good time to do that, is that the way this is digitized is so that whatever your finished block is, this is going to not put the batting in the seams, which is a big deal. There's no bulk in the seams. So when you go to sew this together at the very end of your project to make your final quilt, there's no extra bulk in the seams because of batting. So that's another plus for it. Okay. So now we have stitched that out. Let me see.
And trimmed it.
By the magic of television here, Jeanette, we have our next one already stepped out for you. Okay, so what we did is we trimmed really close to that batting, and then what happened?
And then we stitched the next step.
The next step is to?
Is your fabric placement line.
Is your fabric placement line. that is what you're seeing on this very outside edge, okay? That is your blue stitching that you're seeing about 1/4 of an inch beyond the batting placement, right?
Right.
Okay, why did we do that?
So you know where to put your fabric.
Jeanette's like, Kim, you know, we're just, guiding them along.
Here we are.
All right. So yes, that's so you know where to place your fabric. Again, in the instructions, we give you a cut size to use. We always like, when possible, we always like to use an oversized piece of fabric and then cut it down afterwards. Why, Jeanette?
Because when you embroider on something, it's always going to have pull. The more you stitch on something, the more it's going to pull, and that will shrink your overall block size.
Yeah.
So you always want to have a little extra.
Yeah, so we like starting out with a little bit larger block, as you know, and then we cut them down afterwards. Okay, so Jeanette has said fabric placement line. So what's that mean? We are going to take
the fabric.
our fabric. But first, before we do that, what did we do on the back?
We ironed on
A fusible backing.
Yes. It helps just provide extra structure to hold the stitches.
Yeah, we love, whenever you have a chance to put a fusible backing on, it's just like this fusible interfacing. It's really lightweight, but it's going to give it a little more stability and stop any puckering, right?
Yes. Then it's woven like fabric, so it moves like your fabric.
Really nice and soft and supple. So
on your background fabric.
Yes.
You don't
on
necessarily
your
need to do
background
it
fabric.
on all your applique pieces.
No.
But sometimes we'll use it for shadowing.
Yeah,
Put a light piece on a dark piece.
Yeah, if you're appliquing like a white fabric on top of black fabric, you might want to put something like this on your white, just to prevent the black from showing. So that's what Jeanette's talking about with shadowing. But yes, for your background blocks, I always love to use this fusible backing. Okay, so we've done that. Now we're back here, guys. We're going to place this on top. Again, it's oversized. It's completely covering that placement line, right? Anything we want to say about that?
No, but I think what happens if I have a pieced block? How do I do that?
Oh, yes. Let's talk about that in a minute.
That other piece of fabric. Do you want to do that now while we're here? Or we'll come back?
We'll come back to that. Because there is
a
difference. That's a good thought, Jeanette. Is in our instructions, we show 2 techniques. What I'm showing now is technique number 1, which means your fabric is bigger and you're going to be cutting it down later.
Yes.
Technique number 2 is if you have the exact same size block as you need and you want to quilt on top of it, there's a little trick that we've put in there in the directions.
Recommend this first. If you
we
can do
always
this,
recommend this.
do this.
Okay. All right. Are we good?
We're good.
We're good.
Okay.
You're still following me? Okay.
Hide this one for later.
And then we went to this one. And this was
the
our
fabric tack down.
Fabric tack down line. And so as you can see, this is larger than what we need, but you're going to be happy with this because after it's quilted and then you put applique on top of it, it pulls that in.
It pulls. So I wouldn't recommend using this as a cut line. We say that in our directions too.
Oh, yes. Yeah, some people might look at this and go, oh, that's my cut line.
That's where I cut it.
No, we don't want to use that as your cut line because we guarantee that your fabric is going to pull in, which is why we love the Orange Pop rulers. Little plug for that, because that's going to give you the exact size you need after the quilting, after the applique. Exactly. Okay, so we've done now our tack down line on our fabric.
And it's a basting line too, in case you have to take it out.
It is a basting line.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, I love that. All right, now you might not have to take it out.
You might not.
Because it's probably going to be still shown in your seam, but if you had to, we got you covered.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whoop. All right. Now for my favorite. This is the best part of the whole thing, you guys. The quilting. You let the machine work its magic, right?
You're just going to watch it. It's
push of the button and
magic.
Bam. There you go. You know what, you guys, you probably heard me say this before, but it does not matter. If you agree with me, give me a thumbs up. It does not matter how many years I've been embroidering, or you've been embroidering, or you've been embroidering. Do we still love to just sit there like this?
Just watch it.
And just watch it do its thing? I'm like, oh, I'm working so hard. Push the button.
It's
doing its thing.
Yeah.
I can file my nails. I can check Facebook. I can cook dinner. No, I won't do
My
that.
kids even love to watch it. I'm like, Mom, can I push the button?
Yeah,
I want to watch.
it's so fun. And so with this quilting background, yeah, just let the machine do its magic. This is an all-over quilting design. Now, we put this in a darker color on a lighter fabric just so that you could see it better. But, you know, it's really up to you. This is really customizable. So I might, if I didn't want my background quilting to really be stark and show too much, but just kind of hide in the background a little bit more, I might use a color that's closer to my background fabric and thread, but entirely a personal choice, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, guess what? You are done. That is all there is to it. Well, except, I guess I should say, if you want to add your applique on top of this, that's when you would do that.
You would.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. So once that's all done, then you would want to use, you know, your ruler, or we always recommend the orange pop rulers because these are all sized to work with the orange pop rulers. Then you would want to place that over it and cut your block out.
Yes.
Okay. Did you see how easy that was?
So
Okay.
fast.
Let's rewind like 30 seconds. Dun. Boom, boom, boom. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Guess what? We're going to do it one more time.
I snitched one.
You
but that's
stitched?
okay. I snitched one.
Oh, okay.
I went under the table.
You stitched your placement,
Placement
line,
line.
for the batting.
Oh, and you put your
You put your batting on top. You stitch your batting tack down line. Then you trim it. Once it's trimmed, you stitch your
Fabric.
fabric
Placement
line. Okay. Once that's done, you take your fabric and place it over the top, making sure it's bigger, right? Then you stitch your
Fabric tack down line.
fabric tack down line. Then you stitch your
Quilting.
quilting. You guys, wasn't that so easy?
So fast.
Who wants to try it? Who wants to try
Right?
it? Oh my gosh, we have had so much fun here at Kimberbell trying these new quilting backgrounds. It's a little addictive, I'm telling you.
And deciding
Right?
what patterns.
Oh my gosh.
There's so many.
Well, here's the thing. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, okay, definitely I want to use this for my Love Notes quilt, right? It's perfect for Love Notes.
Yes.
But I have a baby shower coming up. And I'm thinking a little baby quilt would be so cute with an all-over quilting pattern like this. I can do that
cute.
too. And then I could say, you know what? This would be so darling for my daughter's bedroom. And I could make a pillow using this background quilting. So it's so versatile. And then I could take the plaid design, which you know is my favorite now. And I could use that. So there's just so many ways you can use this. Again, it's going to work in all the Kimberbell quilts, but it's going to also work on just about anything, right? Okay, so we've talked about technique number 1.
Yes.
Let's talk real brief about technique number 2. So
Okay.
Jeanette, bring it up.
Perfect.
This
So-
is for...
When you have a traditional block, like if you piece something like those X and O blocks.
Oh, those X and O blocks.
Right.
Yeah, gotta love them.
You do. Piecing is really awesome.
You know, it can be. It can take a little practice, and that's
Right.
okay. We learn
It is.
something new all the time, right?
Me too.
But with
It's an adventure.
it's an adventure. But sometimes you have a block that is cut to the exact size you need for your project, such as piecing. Like let's show this pinwheel block here.
So the pinwheel block
Yeah,
on, this way.
here we go.
No quilts. Here we go.
So we've got the pinwheel block here. When that was cut down, then we've got we have the exact size we need. So instead of having it oversized, what you can do at this point is take your exact size block, match it up to that
It
fabric
goes
line.
exactly to that line.
It goes exactly to that line, but that's when you'd want to take a piece of tape and tape it all the way around the outside edges.
Yes.
There's pictures in the download
There
for
is.
the instructions, and then quilt it.
Yes.
We don't recommend technique number 2 when possible, but it certainly can work if you have to make it work.
It can.
It also works better if you're just doing quilting and you don't have any additional applique on top of that, right?
Yes.
Because the additional applique is what is going to pull it.
More.
Yeah. Okay.
So one other thing I think is important to know
Yeah.
is that if this is an 8 by 10, the embroidery field is really 8.5 by 10.5.
Which means you're going to have to go up a
A bigger
hoop size.
So the reason we did that is there's not really a logical, intuitive way to name it 8.5 by 10.5 in a very short amount of period. Because some machines you only see just a little bit.
So the name of the block that you're downloading is what the finished size of your block is.
Yes.
But what you've cut the block at is
the bigger.
Is the hoop that you need. All of that is in the download instructions. So I think that's it for now.
So.
If you have any questions, let us know in the comments, and we'll be sure to go back and answer those when we have a chance. Thank you for joining us today, everyone. We hope you enjoyed Tuesday Tips with Kimberbell. Have a great day. Oh, and you can find all the designs at mykimberbell.com. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.